Hi, it's David here from the PPC Machine. Now, in my video a couple of days ago, I was talking about what lead magnets are and why you should be using them to get more inquiries from your website. In today's video, I'm going to follow on from that and explain how you can create your first lead magnet. So the first step in creating a great lead magnet is to decide what it's going to be about and what you'll put in it. An important point to keep in mind is that a lead magnet does not need to be a highly technical or in-depth document, and it doesn't need to be a lengthy one, and it certainly should not be a sales pitch. Instead, you need to ensure that your lead magnet is about something that's relevant to your target audience and that it contains information that they are going to find useful and of value. So with that in mind, the best lead magnets tend to be the ones which provide the reader with some simple tips and strategies which are going to help them solve a specific problem or a challenge that they're facing. And when I'm working with clients to help them create an effective lead magnet, I take them through a three-step process to decide what their lead magnet should be about. So step number one is to decide who your lead magnet is for. Now, your lead magnet should be written for your ideal client. So what sort of person is your ideal client? What's their occupation? How old are they? How long have they worked in this industry? Do they run their own business or are they employed? What sort of organisation do they work for? Are they a junior member of staff or a senior manager? What do they do to relax? These are all the kind of questions that you need to ask yourself, and by answering them you'll be creating what's known as a customer persona or a customer avatar. If you want to know more about this, I do have an article on my website about it, and I'll put a link to that in the description below, so as you can read more on how to create a customer persona. The second step is to think what keeps your ideal customer awake at night. So having worked out who your lead magnet is aimed at, this next step is all about thinking about what their pain points are. What's their biggest challenge likely to be? What stresses them out? What holds them back in their business or in their job? What do they want to achieve? Do they want to earn more money, cut their expenses, get more clients, lose weight, be a better boss, have more free time? Whatever those things are, once you've figured them out, you'll now know what your lead magnet is going to be about. It's going to contain tips and advice on how your ideal customer can fix their biggest challenge and achieve whatever their desired outcome is. So here's an example from a financial advisor I worked with recently. Her ideal customer turned out to be a 40-year-old married business owner with children who's worried about whether he'll ever be able to afford to retire. So the title we settled on for her lead magnet was 5 Ways Your Business Can Fund Your Retirement, brackets, and let you stop work earlier than you might think. Now, the key ingredients that make this a good title are the following. Firstly, the use of 5 ways. Now, studies have shown that using numbers in your titles or your headlines increases engagement, and the odd numbers for some reason tend to work better than even ones. Then the fund your retirement bit. This addresses the pain point of our target client who's worried that he won't be able to afford to retire. And then the bit in brackets, this is the added bonus where we're not just going to solve your problem, i.e. fix the negative thing, but we're also going to give you a highly desirable positive outcome on top of that. Step 3 is to decide what solutions you're going to provide. Now, hopefully you'll be able to think of plenty of advice you can provide in your lead magnet to make sure it delivers on its promises. And frankly, if you can't, then you've probably picked the wrong title. Now, when deciding what to include and how to structure your content, there are 2 approaches you can take. The first option is to create a lead magnet where 100% of the content is related to the services or the products that you sell. For example, one of my own lead magnets is an ebook called 7 Simple Steps for a Successful Google Ads Campaign, and I'll put a link to it down below in case you want to look at it. Everything in that lead magnet is related to a service I provide, namely Google Ads Management, but its purpose is to show people how to do it for themselves, and of course without being salesy. The second option is to create a lead magnet where you offer various solutions to a problem, some of which are related to things your business provides and some of which are not. For example, I've got a lead magnet, and again I'll put a link to it down below, which is aimed at mortgage brokers and is called 7 Ways to Generate More Mortgage Leads and Double Your Profits Within a Year. Now, a few of the lead generating ideas in that guide are things that I help my clients with, like driving more traffic to their websites with Google Ads or creating a strong value proposition to use on your website. But the majority of the 7 ways in that guide are actually things like join a business networking group. They're things that are nothing to do with any of the services that I sell, but they're still going to be useful to my target audience. Whichever of these two approaches you choose, it's important not to get hung up on making the content too complicated. Remember, just because something seems obvious to you as the expert in your field, that doesn't mean it's necessarily obvious to your ideal customer. So don't underestimate the value of what may seem to you like a fairly simple piece of advice. Once you've decided on a title and a content for your lead magnet, there are various formats you can use to deliver it, such as a PDF guide or an ebook, a PDF checklist, a webinar, or an online course. If you're looking for inspiration, you can find examples of most of these on my free resources page at theppcmachine.co.uk/free. As this video is aimed at people who are creating a lead magnet for the first time, I'm going to focus purely on how to create a downloadable PDF guide, because that's the one that's generally the easiest one to get started with. So the first thing you need to do is to write down the heading for each of the tips or steps that you're going to cover in your lead magnet. Then open up Word or whatever your favourite word processor is and write a couple of paragraphs to explain each of those points. If you're someone who already writes a blog or has written articles before, you may well find that you've got a lot of existing content on there that you can repurpose to make up some or all of your new lead magnet. Don't feel you need to go into lots of detail on each of the points in your lead magnet. By keeping it simple at this stage, it allows scope for you to dive into more detail in your follow-up emails, which are something we'll talk about in my next video. And remember, you're writing a lead magnet, not War and Peace. So if it ends up only being 2 or 3 pages long, that is absolutely fine. The last lead magnet I wrote, for example, was just under 1,300 words. Ideally, your content should end with a call to action. Tell people what it is you want them to do next and where they can find out more information. Maybe you want them to attend a seminar that you're running or a webinar, or perhaps you want them to book a phone call or a meeting with you. You might have a paid-for product that you want to offer them now as an upgrade now that they've had your free lead magnet. Whatever it is, you need to tell your reader what they should do now and provide within the lead magnet a button or a link that they can click in order to take that next step. Now that your content is written, don't forget to spell check it and proofread it, or better still, ask someone else to do that for you and tell you if any of the content is unclear. And the final step then is to convert the document into a PDF. Now the simplest option here is just to save it as a PDF from Word, preferably after you've formatted it nicely, perhaps added some images to break up the text a bit. Ideally though, you should try to make your PDF look a bit more polished and professional. One way to do that is to add a cover page with a clear title and an eye-catching image. This can make a big difference. Even if, like me, you're no graphic designer, there are lots of online tools such as Canva, Pablo or PicMonkey which can help make this job easier, and many of these tools are available for free. If you want to go up a level, there are tools which are specifically designed to take an ordinary Word document and turn it into an attractive ebook style PDF. The one I often use myself is called Designrr, and I'll put a link in the description which you can use to get a big discount on the usual price of that if you want to. The final option is to pay someone to design the PDF for you. Now this doesn't have to be expensive. If you take a look on a website such as Fiverr and search for ebook design, you'll be presented with plenty of options for getting a professional looking PDF created for around £10. Again, I'll put some links in the description that will be useful for that. So now you've got your first lead magnet ready to go and waiting to get you more sales and leads from your website. The final piece of the jigsaw is to get that PDF uploaded to your website and provide a way for people to download it in return for them providing their name and email address. The reason we want to get their name and email is so we can keep in touch with them once they've received your lead magnet. I'll cover all these aspects of lead magnets in part 3 of this 3-part series in the video that I'll be releasing in the next couple of days. If you want to know when that's uploaded, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so as you get notifications. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Meanwhile, I'd love to hear your feedback on what we've talked about so far on lead magnets. So if you've got any questions about how to make your own or what to put in it or anything like that, I'd be happy to help. Just leave a question in the comments below and I promise I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next video.